As a drug addict for most of my adult life, I have found only two sources that make a person go through the exact phases a drug addict does. Sadly, both are killing America, one person at a time. Today, we're going to focus not on alcohol, but on a more deadly substance. A substance that many would not even imagine to be an epidemic. Sugar is a drug. The importance in this topic revolves around 4 habitual nouns and 1 lethal verb. These 5 key points are important because they lead to diabetes, cancer, insulin tolerance, obesity, and heart disease. I would like to start with allowing you to see where this villain hides. You may be surprised to learn that even a can of tomato sauce holds many grams. Then I would like to take you down a boulevard of the 5 key factors to how this substance leads to a deadly lifestyle. Last, we can examine what we can do to avoid this type of addiction and how we can maintain a healthier lifestyle. OurSmallHours.com tells us that every bite we take is either fighting a disease or feeding it. First, we have a problem with contamination. If you open your freezer right now, you will see this poison in just about everything you are stocked up on. You have poison in your freezer, poison in your fridge, and poison in your cabinets. According to NBC News, Americans are consuming 22 teaspoons a day. That is more than twice the recommended. Forbes tells us that sugar is linked to everything from metabolic syndrome to cancer. And given our tragic dependence on it, many local schools are banning it. Well, if it's so tragic, why is it all around us? Let's go ahead and expose this guy and where he is hiding. That way we are more aware of what we are taking in. Sugar is everywhere. Your reduced fat peanut butter is full of sugar. That fat was replaced with more sugar. We have stuffed it in ketchup, barbecue sauce, multigrain cereals, fruit yogurt, dried fruit, and sodas. The American Heart Association recommends that women should consume 6 teaspoons and men should consume 9. Take a good look at your pantry. Are you taking the recommended dose of sugar? Second, let's examine the cause. This is where I'd like to discuss those 5 essential key points to how sugar is a drug. This is the most important aspect to understand and will point you down the road of where every addict walks. These roadblocks are deadly and if not controlled, will lead you down pathways you dare not walk. The cause starts with addiction. According to Authority in Nutrition, sugar is an addictive just like drugs. I would like to mention that Dr. Mike Hyman also agrees and states that some studies show that sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. You may be thinking, no way, but let me explain how that's possible. Much like methamphetamine and cocaine, sugar floods the brain with a dopamine, thus allowing the brain to change its programming and want more. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that helps control the brain's reward and pleasure centers. The second thing that sugar does is it contributes to an opioid pathways within the brain. This is the exact same thing that heroin manipulates the brain with. Opioid is an opium-like compound that binds 1 to 3 opioid receptors of the body. That is how sugar starts as a drug. Let's continue. The next key factor is cravings. Cravings are powerful feelings, and the obsessive nature and thought process is identical to that of an addict. Your brain drives you towards the dopamine and opioid signals. These signals leave us wanting more and more, and once we have it, our brain is shooting reward signals throughout our body. Tolerance comes next. We develop a tolerance because of downregulation. Let's make 2 comparisons. Let's start with coffee. After you drink 1 cup of coffee a day, your body no longer feels the caffeine, and it's going to need you to drink more than 1. Now let's look at drugs. Have you ever known or heard of an addict that uses the same amount of drugs and getting the same high? The answer is no. This is because people progressively need larger and larger doses because the brain reduces its number of receptors. Tolerance is a hallmark of addiction. According to Authority in Nutrition, when addicts become tolerant to the effects of the drug, they start to increase the dosage because there are fewer receptors. Tolerance causes our 4th factor, binging. Finally, let's hit the landmine, withdrawals. The key point I would like to use in this factor is rats. Rats that are made dependent on sugar have clear withdrawal symptoms. They shake, their teeth clatter, and they get tremors. Well, what can we do with all this information? Well, we can put it into play. According to the CDC, sugar leads to diabetes, which is the 7th leading cause of death in the United States. And most important, the statistics remains is not the seventh, but it's the first. Heart disease in the United States kills more than 611,105 people. That's more than cancer by over 100,000. This high sugar intake increases your risk by 38%, and this is coming from the American Heart Association. If those statistics don't scare you, I don't know what will. Drugs and sugar are in the same family. They have the same obsessive nature and thought process, as well as brain activities. The brain tells us these are good, but our bodies begin to slowly shut down. Now let me offer a solution. This solution you will not like. I do not like it. For 10 years I was an addict. I went from street drugs to no drugs, from no drugs to sugar. I binged and I felt miserable. The weight didn't catch up with me, but the feelings of exhaustion did. Sugar will drain you. The solution is clear and simple. Clean your house of the contamination. Lifestyle in America has drastically changed over the last 10 years. This decade is used to fast food, fast meal, and equals a fast life. We can view that in two ways. Fast life can be viewed as always go, 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 don't really have time to take out. Or you can also view it as fast life would equal a short life. There is a solution to this problem. Let's slow down. Let's take time to cook nutritious meals, ones that are not so high in sugar. New York Daily Times suggests that we clean our kitchens and trash anything not real. Toss out all processed food, and this will help in two ways. One, we will have more family time, and two, we will be around longer to enjoy the family time. You see, sugar may taste really good, but it is killing us. Sugar is a drug, and it is not said to scare us, but to remind us. I will end with one question and one quote. How important is your life to you? Life Extension's quotes. Temporary happiness isn't worth the long time pain.